Hey everybody, this vlog is directed toward the Oakland United Coalition and their Howard Terminal Community Benefits webinar, video of which was posted on the 6th of August. I watched it with more than the common level of interest, primarily because I've followed the Howard Terminal subject and project going all the way back to the turn of the 20th century. Actually, before the turn of the 20th century. I actually meant the turn of the 21st century. But the hour is late. But I digress. Your presentation was made with a gigantic error. A missing element of information that, had it been added, would have completely changed, and I believe will, I hope, if you're reasonable, change how you look at the project. When you went to present your timeline regarding Howard Terminal, you started at 2018, as you can see here, but you skipped right over 2019 and went into 2020. 2019 was, for all practical purposes, when the Howard Terminal project was really born, because there are two pieces of legislation that really gave life to the project. AB 1191 BONTA. That was the EIR streamlining legislation, specifically written for Howard Terminal and passed by the California legislature and signed into law by California Governor Gavin Newsom. And then there's SB 293 Skinner, the legislation that approved the use of tax increment financing through the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District law format of California, and govern how TIF would be used in the Howard Terminal context, which is not dissimilar from the standard Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District context, signed into law by California Governor Gavin Newsom on the 11th of October 2019. And let's not forget, the current project manager, Molly Mayburn, was hired by the city of Oakland to be just that in March of 2019. And all during that time, the Howard Terminal Community Group was meeting, something you left out. Now, had you added all of that in, you would have been forced, assuming, of course, you read the legislation, particularly SB 293 Skinner, to not only acknowledge but realize that, first of all, Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District projects must have a public financing authority, which is a kind of a internal city council that governs the project, and an infrastructure financing plan. The infrastructure financing plan governs where money is spent on the project and how. The public financing authority is vitally important because you're to have seats for the county, city, but you can really, the law does not prohibit this, modify it to accommodate seats for community groups. You skipped over all that. And because of that, you missed the fact that Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District legislation in California allows the use of tax increment financing revenue off-site, away from the district, for infrastructure uses, for affordable housing, for streets, roads, sewers. And thanks to AB 464 Mullen, signed into law last year by Governor Newsom, now tax increment financing monies can be also used to help small businesses recover from the pandemic. Yep, that's right. It's right there in black and white. Black and white. It can be used to help pay for Head Start programs, as well as libraries and child care facilities. So it's quite clear to me in listening and watching your presentation from that point on, you had no idea of what you're talking about. I don't mean to be insulting, it's just fact. And you went from there and imprinted your own ideas and prejudices. For example, like saying, well, we want to be there and we want to influence the development agreement. Well, okay. Why? Why do that when projects that are focused on enhanced infrastructure financing district legislation call for the preparation of the Public Financing Authority and the infrastructure financing plan? Since the plan really governs where the money goes, don't you think it's more important to be interested in how that plan is written? I do. You didn't mention which other cities used enhanced infrastructure financing district legislation because, again, you missed the whole chapter in this story about SB 293 Skinner and the introduction of enhanced infrastructure financing district legislation as an objective. Yes, I know the city still hasn't adopted it officially, but the mayor has said she wants to use it as recently as roughly 2.5 months ago on my show. It would be stupid not to use it and chase away, at the minimum, $1,600,000,000 of tax increment financing revenue, which could be fashioned into a $700 million 45-year bond issue. Don't you think? I think so. Okay. So take another look at Howard Terminal, and if you want me to head your next webinar, I'm happy to do so. Very happy to do so. Subscribe to Zennie62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com.